Hi, this is Julia with German 365. Today on episode 17, we're going to talk about the separable as well as the inseparable prefix verbs in German.
So let's clarify what a prefix actually is. So a prefix is attached to the front of a word. That's why it's a prefix. So here we have unbequem or uncomfortable. Das Sofa ist unbequem. Missverstehen, misunderstand. Du hast das missverstanden. So a prefix basically just changes the meaning of the word, sometimes just slightly, but sometimes even completely. So here we have bequem turns into unbequem, and verstehen turns into missverstehen. And in German, we distinguish between inseparable and separable prefix verbs. And those you can identify by looking at the prefix themselves. So I have put together lists of the prefixes that are most common. So let's have a look at the inseparable prefixes first. You want to keep in mind that those are fixed to the front of the verb, so they will not come off. And it might help you to look at the prefixes as their own entity in that they have a meaning attached to them or they do something to a verb when you put them in front. And feel free to just stop the video here and read through the list and the meanings of those inseparable prefixes. And I gave you a couple of example words as well. I'm just going to pick out 2 or 3 that I'll go over here with you. So let's take the fair. I love the fair prefix. It usually implies a miscarriage of an action in some way, but not always, so be careful of that. Here we have verschlafen. We know the verb schlafen, to sleep. And if you do verschlafen, then you oversleep. So you miscarried your action of sleeping. And the zer, for example, the last one here, is apart. So zerbrechen is to break apart or into pieces, rather than just simply to break, brechen. Brings us to the separable prefixes, which will be able to come off. So they are not inseparable, they're separable. And the list is a little bit longer. We start with ab, which is like off or down. So abholen, to pick up. So sometimes the translations are pretty straightforward, and sometimes that you gotta think a little bit about it out of the box in a way. Another example would be mit, which is pretty straightforward. With, mitbringen, to bring with or to bring along, or simply in English to bring. You usually don't make that implication, or you don't specify. And then another good one is zurück, zurückgeben, to give back, just adding the idea of back to the verb. In their infinitives, you don't see whether they're separable or inseparable. But once you use them in a sentence, you will need to know and see it. Here we have the example, ich schlafe ein. So we used einschlafen, we conjugated the verb schlafen, and we kicked the prefix to the end. It's contrary to ich verschlafe, where the ver does not go to the end. It sticks in the front of the verb when it's conjugated.
That's all about the separable and inseparable prefix verbs. Please like this video if it was helpful to you and subscribe to my channel for future videos and other topics in German.